Running it back to the back to the back to the bank today. Running it back to the back to the back to the bank today. Running it back to the back to the back to the bank today. Running it back to the back to the back to the back to the back. Running it back to the bank today. Baby, I feel it relaxed today. Gotta go try to relax today. Whoa, whoa. Gotta fill out all my apps today. Cry from my.
Hello, welcome to the DMV's Vibe Podcast. I am Miss Pink.
And I'm Phyllis Swagger.
And it is June 1st, y'all. We are halfway through the year. I still can't believe how fast these first 6 months went. And again, as we want to remind you, this will be our last few episodes before we go on our break. We are going to take a summer break. So y'all are going to get 3 episodes this month. Of course, y'all know we don't do shows on Father's Day, but we always want to give a special tribute as Father's Day also falls in Men's Health Month, which June, even though there are a lot of awarenesses for this month, and I'm sorry, guys, y'all share the month with Pride Month. Yes, but it's also Gun Violence Awareness Month and PTSD Awareness Month. So we're going to be touching on a couple of those topics. As you know, we always talk about mental health, and PTSD definitely falls under that. So we do want y'all to first, as Phyllis mentioned last week, men, please find someone to tap in with. Find a safe space with someone that you can be vulnerable with. Being vulnerable does not make you weak. It just makes you human. And being able to discuss any topic with someone helps you release sometimes those negative energy and the thoughts that you may have, and understand that you're not the only person feeling that way.
Just so you know, you're not alone. Like, I think a lot of men tend to feel like they're alone, but you're really not. You really are not alone. There are people out there who will listen to you, even if you feel like you don't have that safe space around you. We definitely will be posting resources and stuff for you guys to find the help that you need.
Yes, we always have our page open, whether it's our personal page or the podcast page. You can always send us a message if you need the resources, if you need someone to talk to.
Serious?
Yes, please. Serious inquiries only. Do not be in. I'm telling you, I done blocked a lot of people on the podcast page. Do not be in the messages saying, "Are you free?" Because I'm gonna say, "What you want to interview?" That's it. You can get an interview. That's all we got to offer y'all. Okay.
I decline. Respectfully.
Yeah, it's not joke time, because we do care about y'all mental health. And a lot of y'all that be trying to slide in them DMs on funny time, y'all haven't taken the time to work on y'all mental health, and it shows.
I've never seen any of the DMs, and I'm kind of glad I haven't. Thanks.
Yeah, so I done told her about a couple of y'all wilding. That's all I'm saying is y'all wilding. Make me want to make my page private again. But, for the purpose, I keep it open because there are people who need resources and need help. And we do want to be a resource for that. So as we talk about men's health, I just want to say, especially for Black and brown men, society teaches y'all early on to be strong. Don't talk about it. But at what cost? What does it cost you when you're keeping all of those things bottled into yourself? We've seen where, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to handle some of the consequences of their choices. And while adults are to blame, sometimes that childhood trauma, that's where the PTSD comes in.
A lot of these kids that have PTSD already, and they don't realize it. And a lot of men definitely have PTSD and don't realize it. And when it does happen, sometimes it's too late. Having to be it's a lack of emotional intelligence because you have to learn how to control your emotions. And I think because early on, especially in the Black community, we tell these little boys like, don't ever let them see you cry, don't do this, and keep in, or don't let them see you look soft or anything like that. And over time, that builds up. You build up frustration, you build up an anger, and when you are, by the time you express yourself, it's too late because it's not being done in a healthy manner. Now it's explosive
Mm-hmm.
behavior versus it's just you expressing how you feel from the beginning or whenever the situation takes place.
Yes, and unfortunately, a lot of men with mental health issues, especially in the Black community, it goes mishandled
Mm-hmm.
whenever they do have an episode or an explosive reaction, because there's a lack of training, as they've talked about in society, where the police don't know how to handle it.
You cannot fight fire with fire.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who has worked with children that had emotional disabilities to where they will lash out, and there's there are children out here who are truly ED. Now, all of them are not,
Mm-hmm.
but when my students in particular, when they're going off, I'm not. When they're up here, I'm not up there with them because I can't be up there with them. Like when they're hollering and screaming, that does not work. You literally have to approach them in a calm manner, calm voice. There are every school that I worked at where I had to actually put children in holds because I had to like to calm them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like we learn different techniques, and I feel like these techniques need to be taught to first responders, to the police officers, because when someone is having a psychotic episode, it's a way that you can disarm them. It's a way that you can calm them down without automatically just shooting at them or just straight tackling them and beating them up. um so and sometimes those episodes last a long time. I've had students who where they would literally be in their episode for about 3 hours. And then you teach them over time how to de-escalate faster and faster. But I think overall this is something that needs to be brought up
Mm-hmm.
amongst the public and amongst people that work with the adults.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that, if y'all go to therapy, a therapist will tell you, you come here to learn tools to be able to function, not for everyone around you to be the cause or the blame, and they triggered you. You're supposed to learn tools to be able to handle your triggers, because people on the street not gonna know what your triggers are. So you have to take those tools to be able to function, to control your reactions, and really work on um, how to handle certain things when you're going through a lot. Because remember, you're not the only person going through stuff. Every single day,
Yes.
somebody is going through something, and it could be 10 times worse than what you're going through. So be mindful. That's why we told you, be mindful of your words, be kind to people. Um, a did you know fact: men die almost 5 years earlier than women on average, and suicide is one of the leading causes of death among men. And it's often linked to undiagnosed mental health issues, stress, and trauma. We have done episodes where we've talked about suicide prevention, suicide awareness, and unfortunately, you do see the number, as opposed compared men compared to women, is extremely higher, especially when it comes to suicide.
It's definitely high amongst the whites, for sure. But in recent years, it has definitely raised in the black community, black men and young black boys. Also, um, it's suicide is it's hard to really think about because I have lost a friend to suicide. R.I.P. Pimp. And it's just like another thing of you're not alone. I want y'all to think of therapy like y'all think of going to the eye doctor or the foot doctor. Like that is the doctor for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an injury, that's who you're gonna go to because that person is gonna give you the tools and ways to cope with whatever it is. Um to keep you from wanting to kill yourself or unalive yourself as they say now. I'm sorry.
And what a lot of people don't understand is that when someone does commit suicide, is they kind of pass their pain on to everyone who was connected to them. And of course, that person is not thinking about it in that time. But if you're able to be there for someone who may be thinking about that or, paying attention to how people react or their changes in their day to day, you could really save someone's life. Just being a listening ear, I know has saved a couple of people. And so sometimes it's not about trying to be a therapist for someone. It's literally just listening. And that's why I've learned to incorporate when someone calls me, I'm like, okay, are you calling me for advice or are you calling me to vent? Because sometimes you may not have the mental capacity to take on whatever they may be trying to drop on you. So I feel like if you start there, at least it sets the tone for where the conversation may go.
And I know sometimes we do dump on people, and I've had conversations like that, and I'm like, well, I'm so sorry, like I didn't mean to like dump on you or whatever. But that's why I always ask, like, can I vent to you real quick, or I just need to vent. Um, and again, just being that listening ear. Also, if you do want to vent, also ask your friend. Like, ask your friend, are you in, a place to listen to me vent right now? Something like that. Because sometimes people just aren't in that space to where they can listen to you vent. So always ask before you dump onto people, because especially if you have people around you that are empaths like me, I take on everybody's feelings and emotions. So when my friends are not okay, I'm not okay. And sometimes I feel it before they even say it. So definitely ask your friends like if they're in that space to be that listening ear in that moment.
It's a great time to incorporate. So as we shared that in our sisterhood circle, we talk to each other every day. Even if it's just a quick good morning, hope your day go well, hope the week is going well for you. But I will say at least once a week we do have a deeper conversation where we ask each other, how are you really doing? And I think we have to really stop saying we're okay. Because a lot of times we're not. And it's okay to not be okay, as we said before. It's okay, but you do have to be self-aware and be honest with yourself so that you can be honest with other people. So definitely take this time to check in, not just physically, getting your blood pressure checked, or I know a lot of men in general.
Please go to the doctor.
She already knew. She already knew.
Y'all do not
Go
like
to the doctor.
go to the doctor. If you got that good government job and you paying into that health insurance every month, go to the doctor. Cause trust and believe, I'm going to the doctor. Y'all really need to go to the doctor because stress can kill you. Mm-hmm. Holding in everything that leads to high blood pressure, all of those things, it can really take you out of here. And so that's why we stress the importance of taking care of yourself, but definitely take care of your physical health for real. Like, Black men, please go to the doctor. Y'all are dying of prostate cancer. Y'all don't have to die of prostate cancer. Go to the doctor.
And while she said that, my grandfather was diagnosed several years ago with prostate cancer. They did find it early. He did have to have a surgery and therapy, but it's not discoverable now. He has been in remission now for almost double-digit years. So it's not something that can kill you. But if you don't get it checked, and it goes untreated, then that's when it becomes a danger. There is a quote that says, "What we don't talk about can hurt us, and silence doesn't make you strong. Honesty does." I totally agree with that statement. And sometimes we don't understand that honesty and transparency are two different things. And so I think if you're a person who's building deeper connections, especially with the friends that you may have now or the friends that you have left, um, being transparent with your friends can also help them too. Because, like, we have some friends in our group that are mothers, then we have some that aren't mothers, and we have some who are expecting. So we are all in different stages of our life, but we may experience some of the same type of feelings and some things that we go through on just a daily basis. And so being transparent could also help the people around you, because you may be able to provide them tools and resources that they could use on their daily.
That's also how you become more relatable, and that also makes people feel comfortable when you are very transparent with people, because it makes them feel like you're human too, like they're human too.
Yes. And so as we go on to talk about more about PTSD, which falls under mental health and men's health, post-traumatic stress disorder, it doesn't just affect veterans. What most people think it just has to do with people in the military. No.
The babies in the hood, PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Survivors of gun violence, abuse, incarceration, and everyday traumas.
Teachers, we have PTSD.
Yes. As someone who worked in a school board, it is very easy to experience trauma within the school. Where you live, your environment exposes you to traumas. I know there's some kids, when I worked there, it was kids who could tell me how they could sell drugs, make more drugs, find drugs, but they wasn't on grade level for nothing else.
Listen, you know what? I'm not even gonna get on my soapbox about the PTSD with the teachers, but over time, I realized this is how I realized I had PTSD as a teacher. In the classroom, no matter what classroom I'm in, my desk, I have to have an exit. I have to be able to get out on both sides. This year, I don't have it, but the way it's set up, but I have enough room where if I need to fly across, under, or to the left, I can. Like, there are certain, when I go certain places, I have to stand a certain way when I'm doing certain things in the school. Like, I got it real bad, because you never know. And so that goes to show you that if I'm in a classroom with kids and I have to be a certain way, imagine how these kids feel when they going to sleep to gunshots, waking up to gunshots. I've had students come to school and say, "Oh, I didn't get no sleep last night because somebody got shot in the middle of the street, and the police and everybody was out there all night, so it was flashing lights all night." Like, the PTSD is real, and a lot of times I don't even think that in our community, especially in the Black community, I don't even think that they even realize that they have PTSD.
A lot of people don't realize that.
And I realized it because I dated music, and what I realized is that it being quiet was a struggle for them.
Yeah.
They would be like, "I'm not used to it being this quiet." Like, it was
calmness.
weird for them because it was. We're in a space or area where it's very quiet, very calm. It's not a whole bunch of noise going on.
Hey, you ever took a hood nigga out the hood, like somewhere to an island or just on vacation? And they look very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Like, they need the noise. Like, but
it's weird for real. But for real, that's PTSD, guys. That's PTSD.
Yes. Not being able to do what we feel is normal things. I think sometimes we take for granted. And I think a lot of us in our age bracket or older are desensitized by a lot of things now because social media.
Also, and I think as a But basically, us millennials, and probably Gen X, we've lived through so much. Like literally, we've lived through
9/11.
Columbine, we lived through Timothy McVeigh, we lived through the Waco stuff, we lived through 9/11, we lived through the DC sniper. What else?
DC sniper was crazy. Hey, they told us to run zigzag, okay? We still had to go to school.
We still went to school though. That's crazy.
Zigzag is crazy.
It was like we lived through so much. We've seen so much. I remember watching live the Twin Towers fall.
Yes.
Like, and literally seeing people's like bodies. Like, you see people jumping.
8th grade.
Out.
It looked like a movie.
8th grade. Like, we watched this live on TV. So we've lived through so much. And I feel like that's why now a lot of us, we like being in the house watching cartoons.
Mm-hmm. We like the quiet.
Baby, the older I get, the more I can't stand unnecessary noise. I only wear bangles like that no more because I feel like they just make too much noise.
Listen, I don't underestimate riding home in silence anymore.
Man, baby.
And my ride home, y'all, can take an hour and a half some days, and it just be quiet. It might be me yelling every once in a while because people can't drive, but the quietness.
I enjoy.
And I love music. Music definitely fixes my mood and my energy, but being quiet is like underrated. After the 35, I feel like you just be like, man, shh. I understand why my mama used to yell, shut up.
Why y'all so loud at 8:45 in the morning?
Man, that's one thing I ain't gonna lie. I don't miss being in the school system because one, that's too early. Why the hell are you talking to me this early? It's too early.
It's hard because I really am a favorite of the kids. Like, I'm not even like trying to toot my own home, but like
I know they be bum rushing you in the morning.
So literally, it's 8:45 in the morning. It's 3 kids in front of me. It's 2 kids next to me because I keep a mirror on my window. So somebody doing their lashes or their edges over here. Then it's like 3 more kids over here. Then,
overstimulated just hearing.
Yeah, then the one, and then there's always one. She my baby though. She be damn near in my skin first thing in the morning. Like just. Yeah, give me no space. Like she damn near in my skin. And that is at 8:45 in the morning. My co-teacher's always like, I don't know how you do it. I said, baby, I be tired. One morning I had to tell them to hush because I couldn't take it.
Yeah, them I don't know, but I do understand like there are a lot of their parents, are still in PTSD and in survival mode. And so they're slowly embedding that into their children and not even realizing they passing that on to them. We understand that, not everyone may be in a fortunate situation to change the environment that you live in, but there are tools for your children to be able to cope with what is going on in their environment that is out of their control. I think that's one of the things that you learn as an adult is to focus on the things that you can control. For PTSD, it's not just flashbacks. It can look like irritability, sleepless nights, disconnection from loved ones, or feeling numb. And for many men, especially in communities affected by gun violence or poverty, are living with PTSD that is undiagnosed and untreated. Now, when they say undiagnosed and untreated, they mean they're not trying to just give y'all medicine to cope with it. Because there are so many other ways to deal with PTSD, whether it's a calming technique. I saw something, it was in a movie, and it was in Bad Boys when he was rubbing on his ears and counting slowly back from
that can help you
saying woosah,
calm down, meditation, journaling, but like immediate to get like an immediate, I guess, calm down. That's usually when your anxiety is high. Breathing techniques definitely do work. Then there's the 5, where name 5 things you can see, 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can touch, whatever. And you do that to kind of get your mind off of whatever. So it's different little techniques that you definitely can use when you start to feel, I guess, the anxiety of whatever is bringing on the PTSD. But you got to know your triggers too.
You do.
That's really the biggest thing. You got to know what triggers you. And then when you find out that's your trigger, then you have to work on not allowing that to trigger you anymore.
Yes. And it's another reason why we keep telling y'all, go talk to the lady. Talk to the lady. Every once in a while I have to go and tap in with my what I'm gonna call her the mind doctor. I have to go and tap in with her because I do have moments like we talked about doing our grief segment, that grief comes in waves. And so it can affect you in different ways. It can leave you with PTSD, um, and understanding what are things that you can do to get through those moments, how to cope through those moments. And it's the same thing with PTSD because there's a number of things that can cause PTSD. If you're a sexual assault survivor, as we've talked about before, um, if you've experienced or someone just close to you, losing someone close to you in a traumatic way, all of those things can become triggers for you. For me, I'm coming up on the 5-year anniversary of my brother being killed. And so when it first happened, I couldn't watch some of the shows that were my favorite. So it was like, I used to watch a lot of Criminal Minds shows and a lot of CSI Miami was one of my favorite shows, but I could not watch it for like the first 90 days. Couldn't do it. Anytime there was a loud noise, I would have to turn the music up to a certain volume. It was just so many things that I couldn't do. It was a lot of sleepless nights, but then it was a lot of nights where I would just drink until I fell asleep. And that's one of the unhealthy ways that they'll tell you to cope with it. So you definitely want to be able to identify triggers, not just in yourself, but the people around you. So you can try to figure out how you may be able to help them. If you recognize signs in someone, there's no shame in talking to someone, loving on someone. And what I want to see more of, because I feel like we're in such an era of um, men who are always saying that's gay.
Yes, can you? Everything is not gay. Like you can hug your homeboy, you can tell your friends that you love them. Like that has nothing to do with being gay. Like love is a universal language. So normalize that. Normalize telling your homeboy you love him while he's still here, not until something happens to him and it's like, oh, I love you. Oh, I wish I would have told you I love you. Tell your friend that. Tell him that. And sometimes that's all he needs. Sometimes he may need to know that somebody loves him. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Give people their flowers while they still here. Kanye West said that in his song about his mom. About making sure that you give people their flowers while they're still alive so that they can cherish them, because people leave here for so many different reasons other than health reasons. So definitely make sure you love on the people in your community. We will have resources once we post resources for counseling and crisis lines and support groups for PTSD, as we live in one of the roughest areas in the country. To be honest, it really looks like a war zone. And somebody who's lived from as far as Southeast, around Third World, to living in up Marlboro, like those are complete opposite on the spectrum. But the amount of access that the YNs have,
we gotta stop calling them that, man. They living up to that, and that's the names you want to call them. Like,
and I do agree.
Gotta give them something else.
If you acting like one, no, I'm gonna call you one. But I do want our younger generation to do better, because it seems like nobody is off limits now, and we understand beef, but the beef don't even be that serious. It don't be that serious, and to be creating multiple spaces, multiple communities to be a war zone over something that you don't own nothing in is crazy. It's just crazy to me.
Because they don't care. There's no regards for life. There's no boundaries. That's part of it. Like there's no boundaries. I mean, back then, if you seen a man with his family, you let that man be. And you got it while he was by himself. But now y'all really out here shooting women and children and babies. Like that's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to be doing that in the first place. But
Right.
I was just having this conversation at work. Like we got to figure it out. Like where have we gone wrong? And well, it started off with No Child Left Behind.
Listen, George Bush did us in with that, okay? That No Child Left Behind got people out here who graduated and still read on the third grade level.
I'm trying to tell you, it's come out as we navigate through the dating pool.
Huh.
So let me say.
People who be reading like it should be a bouncing ball under their words with the caption. Like, yeah, crazy work. But that leads us into the last segment that we want to talk about, which is gun violence. Gun violence is a public health crisis. It's not just about the bullets, but about the long-term impact, the trauma it leaves behind, the fear, the grief, the anger, and the guilt. As someone who has lost two very close people, my brother and my best friend, to gun violence, it is something that you'll never forget. It leaves you with PTSD. Um, I wish that we could crack down better in our environment on gun violence. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a person who watches the news every day. I just can't. As someone who is an empath, like I can't listen to that much negativity every day. It
Well,
would
I watch
affect
the
me.
news because I got to know what's going on.
I let people I read about it, but to have to hear it, I think for me it's the way the news anchors deliver it. It's
I
one of
only
those
watch
things.
NBC4. I don't watch them other people's.
I think it kind of feels like desensitized and repetitive. If you watch the news longer than 30 to 60 minutes, I feel like they repeat multiple stories. Um and half the time it is nothing positive on the news, and I don't want to keep hearing about y'all president.
They be having some good stuff. Like it's gonna be a little Big G and them gonna be at my school sometime this week. So we made the news in a positive light. It really just depends. Like on Channel 4, they have all various different things that they spotlight throughout the city and stuff. So I don't mind watching them. I grew up on them, so it's kind of like, yes, I do need to watch the news. I need to know what the weather is going to be. And then I mean, I'm always interested in what 47 is talking about because I need comedic relief. Because at this point, I'm really laughing at this administration. So I do, but the gun violence, it is sad, and it's
And
really amongst the youth.
they got to stop blaming Muriel though. Like I know she might not be the best mayor for DC,
Yeah, I can't stir your
but it's
your box braid.
but it
Bullhead.
what's going on in DC is not her fault. Yeah.
Parents, as an educator in the city, what we doing, parents? You fighting with your kids. What we doing? You currying the beef. You in kid business. What we doing? Y'all grown. Y'all fighting 13, 14-year-olds. What we doing? That's the problem. What parents, what are y'all doing?
Teaching kids that's the norm when it's not.
We ain't heard from you all year, but you on our line for promotion and prom. We've been trying to call you all school year about why your child acting the way they acting or your child's behavior. Nothing. But your child getting some beef or your child ready to fight you up at the school. Like that's where it starts. You have 9 and 10-year-olds out here carjacking people, 11-year-olds. What are we doing? parents, y'all gotta step up for real. Like it's crazy to see some of the things that I see. Kids high. You got 13, 14-year-olds high at 8 o'clock in the morning. For what? They can't even read on grade level. Then they can't function the whole day in school. Like parents, y'all really gotta step up. Like that's it. That's part of it to help combat the gun violence right there. But when we realize that these kids are mirroring what they see, so we can't do that with that.
Be more involved. Be active. We understand economy is fucked up. We definitely understand that. It's a lot of people having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make sure, their lights stay on and your kids are fed. Talk to your kids though. It really comes down to communication. Try to have them involved in something positive. Show them that other things. They don't have to. I know there's a lot of kids now who don't even want to think about going to college because they're sick of school right now. It's trades that you can learn that we need electricians.
Another rapper.
Electricians, plumbers.
We don't need another bottle girl.
No. We definitely don't need no more rappers.
Please. We need, like Pink said, we need trades, okay? We need y'all to be out here. We carpentry, okay? Welding. Dude, that's what we need y'all to do, okay?
Right.
No more rappers and Instagram models, please.
And until y'all get of age to really understand gun safety, because a lot of y'all be having access to guns and don't even understand gun safety, which is the most important thing. If that's what you're really interested in is guns, there are so many ways that you can take that and make that into a career that it doesn't involve violence.
Yes, you can literally certify people to get their gun license. Like you can turn that into a business. But y'all it makes me think about the student who accidentally unalived herself because she was trying to do a challenge on TikTok or something like that. It's like y'all need to really put the guns down. Stop playing with them, and get a job. Y'all know they still got that DC summer program. Push these kids into learning how to make money the right way, the legitimate way. Like just the amount of children that are really out here committing crimes is crazy. And then on the laws end, y'all need to start cracking down too, because just cause the one little boy who broke into 120 cars, they let him go because he didn't have a previous record. But he just broke into 120 cars. Like now he has one. So he doesn't need to be out there. This is what he's doing. I just feel like
DC juvenile system is messed up.
It is, because they don't have any places
reform
for
program.
The children to go. They don't have beds for them. So that's literally why they're right back out on the street. Right after they get caught committing these crimes, because they really have nowhere for them to go. But the community, we have to figure something out. It's getting out of hand. And the girls
are becoming more violent.
The girls are becoming a lot more violent. I told my students, I used to love to watch Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, my guilty pleasure. I don't watch that no more because I live it every day, Monday through Friday. From the time them kids walk into the building to sometimes after school. It's always drama. I really feel like I'm walking around on an episode of Baddies. Because it's bad. I never seen girls act like this. And to actually hear a young Black girl say that Black girls just don't get along, and I'm like, that's not the case. That's not true. So it's together, I just don't know. We really are disconnected in the Black community. Bring Big Mama back. Big Mama's still at Aqua going to see RE. That's why we don't have Big Mama.
It do be a lot of y'all in there.
It do be a lot of y'all in there.
No shade though. We're not saying that y'all can't party. We just saying we want y'all to have a good balance.
Yeah. Help the grandbabies, Please.
Yeah, and don't do it so that your kid can go and be free. It's just really instilling in them what was instilled in you. And because sometimes they do get lost in translation from generation to generation. Um, I'm just going to drop a couple of statistics and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But over 48,000 people died from gun related injuries in 2022 in the US. So that was 3 years ago. So just imagine what the number could be now. Black Americans are 10 times more likely to die by gun homicide than white Americans. 10 times more.
And we are third in this country. So let them numbers sizzle in your spirit.
Man. So if that's not enough to say, put the guns down, um, pick up tools to heal. We need more. So there are, as Fearless stated, there are programs not just in DC, but there are programs with Park and Planet has a lot of programs in Maryland. I'm sorry we don't have the resources for Virginia, but we'll make sure that we tag and post about it. But programs, jobs, mentors, therapy, and also making sure this month that there are spaces where men can just breathe, be themselves, and just be. I know a lot of times, and I've had this conversation before um, with several people, that sometimes men don't give, they aren't giving their flowers. They aren't giving their appreciation. And appreciation can go a long way for a man who feels like, they're exhausted and they're just going day to day on autopilot. So definitely make sure you appreciate the men that are in your life, in your circle, and make time to truly listen to them. I do want to say the three topics that we touched on today are all intertwined. They're not separate conversations. You should be having these conversations in your households with your children, friends, and other family members. Um, this week, I want y'all to make sure that y'all check on a man in your life and ask them, how are they really doing? How are they really doing? If they just tell you that they're okay, ask them why is it just okay? Is this to offer help? Is there something that I could do to possibly help you have a better week, a better day? And let them know that they're worthy of love, peace, and that they're not weak, they're just human. I want those to be important things that we learn to incorporate, not just for this month, but on a weekly basis. I am going to also tag the resources for the National Suicide Prevention and Therapy for Black Men, for PTSD and gun violence survivor support. So as we wrap up this show, I think I'm gonna let Phyllis go. Okay. I'm gonna let Phyllis have her words of wisdom. Um,
Okay, so my words of wisdom for this week are to the men, because we are kicking off Men Mental Health Awareness Month. Also, just a little shameless plug, my church is having a men's an event for the towards the end of this month. It's at, I believe it's District Heights Community Center. Big G's supposed to be there. Chris from TLB, Tony Lewis and Tony Lewis Jr. They're supposed to have this big activity, and like some wrestling and all that going on. So I'll be posting the flyer of that on my page. So make sure y'all check out my IG. All right, so to the men. Men need to know that it's okay to talk about your feelings. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to break down. Yes, break down. It is okay to cry. It is okay to need support. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to not be okay. And it is okay to go to therapy. So I say this to men. I want y'all to know, like, it is okay. You are not Superman. You don't have to walk around with your cape on and your chest roll out all the time. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel whatever emotions that you feel, whether it's anger, sadness, anxiety. It's okay, but it's not okay to stay there. So use your resource. Talk to your people. Find your tribe. Find your therapist. And ladies,
listen.
ladies,
Listen.
I'm gonna say this. Let me stop using this hand on her. I'm gonna say this, okay? Do not take that man's vulnerability for granted. Do not take him being vulnerable and open with you and throw it back in his face. Do not do that. That man came to you because he trusts you. He trusts you with his feelings and he trusts you with his emotions. Do not take that and throw that back in that man's face, because then it makes it hard for him to ever want to feel that type of vulnerability ever again with any other female. So please do not do that. Do not take them being real, open, and honest and weaponize it and use it as a weapon, because you wouldn't want him to do that to you. Okay? So that is my words of wisdom for this week. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you, ladies. All right? And always remember to live fearless.
Oh, we're clipping that. I just want you to know we're clipping that because this is a PSA to ladies. Stop playing with them and out here.
Please.
My words of wisdom would simply have to be check on your village. As your village checks on you, check on your village. It always feels good when you're on the receiving end. But learn how to be a giver. You never know, one conversation, one word, one song, a smile, a hug could save someone. So please check on your community, check on your village, one by one, collectively and individually. We thank y'all for tuning in. We will, as we stated, we have 2 more shows this month. I can't wait to the end of the month as we get to close out with our sister circle.
Yeah.
And y'all get to see the ladies in the flesh that we've talked about all season long. This season really been amazing for real.
It has been great.
We've had a lot of, I think this is, I'm gonna say,
the black men.
Yes, y'all showed up and showed out this season. We definitely appreciate y'all and all of our previous guests. Definitely want to give a shout out to Maurice, as he was reelected for his position as council member in Glen Arden. Whoop whoop!
Congrats!
And we will be plugging more Black businesses, as I've been sent a few and encountered and met some new business owners in the area. We thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.